Hello and welcome race fans to the Late Apex Racing Club at Belle. This is race 3 of 8 for Season 3 and the second of our 4 sprint weekends. We'll have the usual 20-minute heat race followed by a 25-minute feature race with a 6-position invert. Tonight's race will be a straight-up fight from lap 1. There'll be no scheduled pit stops in today's race. Track temperatures are hovering between 40 and 42 degrees Celsius, or 104 to 108 degrees Fahrenheit. The last thing drivers will want to do is slide through some of these sweeping corners and into the wall. There's very little runoff at Belle, so drivers will need to exert caution, but still try to stay in attack mode as these are shorter races. Today's keys to the race are, number 1, qualify well. There aren't many passing zones outside of turn 3, so starting up front and being able to defend will put you in a strong advantage. 2, don't overdrive the car. With these high track temps, cooking the tires by using the ABS while turning, or rotating using the throttle, and all other sorts of abuse will render them useless pieces of rubber by the end of the race. Drivers should lengthen their brake zone slightly to ensure they don't ask too much of their tires throughout the event. And 3, attack the invert early. As the feature race settles down, it'll be much harder to clean the overtake and regain positions lost during the invert. Attack those positions early to ensure that you don't get stuck in traffic while your rival pulls ahead. We do have a few driver and car updates for today, so we'll get you down trackside and check in. First up we have Matthew Mayer, and he has switched from the Bing Chilling Mustang to the Bing Chilling Porsche Cayman GT4. Decided the Mustang wasn't quite doing it for him, and he's put in some strong practice times, so he'll be looking to maximize his points this weekend in the new Porsche. We also have Ethan Brown switching from the McLaren to the Mustang. This is his first race with the Mustang. This is more of a kind of sort things out kind of weekend for him, as it's a new car completely for him. Not sure if he'll make the race start, but just turning some laps right now as more of a test and tune to get the feel for the car for the upcoming middle of the season. We also have Ian Bertolucci making his debut for Season 3. Although he's a privateer, he does share a similar livery to the Bing Chilling team. So thank you for stopping by, Ian, and hope you have a good race. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the Drivers' Championship as we head into today's event. Going into today, Raymond 2 currently leads for the B4D Weenie Hut Racing team with 108 points. Matthew Mayer close behind with 99. Those two have consistently been at the top so far this season, so looks like they're pulling quite a bit of a lead for the top 2 positions. Connor Acatella, Chris McDonald, and David Mitchell and Matt Best all separated just by 5 points for positions 3 through 6. Juan Del Regila is currently 7th with 56 points, 2 points ahead of Mike D'Almeida. Logan McKenzie missed race 2, but is still P9 in the championship with 43 points. Mark Darnell, P10 with 36 points. Lieutenant Dan heard that he missed the race due to falling asleep, so he will miss today's event, but he should be back for future events. He is currently 11th with 27 points. Jason Lynn 12th with 22 points, 25 points. Slugnificent, 13th. Matthew Berger, Austin Dunbar, Ethan Brown, Jeremy Barber, and Kurt Smith round out your top 18. Kurt Smith missed last week, but he is back for today. We have 11 cars in today's field, so again, a slightly smaller field than race 1. There's going to be a lot of points on the table. Even if you don't quite have the performance you're looking for, you can really make up a lot of positions. Just, from the fact that there are fewer cars out there. We'll go ahead and look at the team championship heading into today's race. Bing Chilling has a pretty good lead in first place with 155 points. The Groomed Cock Racing Boys have 123. Ball Crushing Industries had a good points haul last week, and they're in third place with 119 points. And Beaverdy Weenie Hut Racing is fourth place with 108 points. Roadkill Racing missed race 2. Beaver Busters, it looks like both of their drivers may miss the events for today. And then finally, in 7th and 8th place, we have Horny Toad Racing and Big Honkers. Both of those are single car entries. All right, we will skip ahead to qualifying and take a look at today's grid. Matthew Mayer puts the Bing Chilling Porsche on pole position with a 135.8. That is miles ahead of the other drivers here. Raymond 2 is going to start next to him in the Beaverdy Weenie Hut Racing Mustang, over half a second behind. So Matthew Mayer really enjoying that Porsche around this track. Vlad Alrijla puts in a strong third place in the GT4 Mustang. And Ian Bertolucci, in his first race of Season 3, will start next to him on the second row. Mark Darnell starts 5th in the Horny Toad Racing BMW, while Jason Lynn starts next to him in the Big Honkers Mercedes. Chris McDonald and Kurt Smith will start on row 4 in the Grimcock Racing Mustang and the Beaverdy Weenie Hut Mustang. Connor Eckatella and Damon Mitchell will start 9th and 10th. And Ethan Brown, it looks like he did set some qualifying laps, but he will not be gridding up for today's race. All right, as I get my overlays set up here, we'll wait for the pace truck to start moving. It's going to be interesting lap 1 because turns 1 and 2 is that S turn right after the start finish line. Then you have that long straight into turn 3. The tires are going to be cold, brakes are going to be cold, but those are going to be your best opportunities to set up a pass early in the race as the cars are still 2x2. You can really sneak in a position or two and catch somebody off guard. But as they roll through, we have a short parade lap here. We'll stick with Matthew Mayer for the start. And Kurt Smith missed the grid. He is starting from pit lane. Not sure if that was a technical error, a technical issue, or something, but he will be starting 10th place from pit lane. We'll keep an eye out for that. As the drivers try to get a little bit of heat into their tires. They're rounding through turn 14. The pace truck will veer off into the pits momentarily. Now Mayer will have the inside for turn 1, but that will turn into the outside for turn 2. They're going to have to leave each other room, but he gets a great jump as Mayer already clears Raymond 2, and he doesn't have to worry about going side by side. Further back, we have Mark Darnell and Jason Lynn going side by side. Darnell gets the power down, and Connor Eckatella is going to look to see if he can get around Chris McDonald. We have 3 wide going into turn 3. Nope, Connor tucks back in. And Damon Mitchell, oh, that is not a wall strike. That was just close. But Jason Lynn does lose a couple of positions. Damon Mitchell makes up 4 in 2 corners. So a great jump from him on attacking early. But up front, Matthew Mayer makes it cleanly through the first half of the lap with Raymond 2 in pursuit. Ian Bertolucci makes up a position over Fuad Al-Rijla. So we have 3 Bing Chilling or Bing Chilling related drivers in the top 4. Although Ian's points won't count for the team, they're all buddies. So they make their way through the Fountain Complex. That Porsche looks hooked up. Driver's going to have to be worried about the bumps on the track. This is about as bumpy as Sebring. However, with the walls right next to the track, it's the price you pay for making a mistake here is pretty costly. So as one lap is in our books, Matthew Mayer pulls out a nice stretch here, about a second in front of Raymond 2. So we'll jump back to Jason Lynn and Damon Mitchell. And the cars will file in nicely. Damon goes defensive into turn 3. Jason's not looking to make a dive this early in the race. Having a little bit of a connection issue with Jason. But he's right on the tail of that Mustang and looks to the outside. Damon took over that outside corner entry and denied him the side-by-side. But Jason's going to get a good look into the Fountain Complex here, which is turns 8 through 12. He's on the outside into turn 8. It's not really where you want to be. You're not going to be able to complete a pass out there, and you're just going to be, thrown back in line for this complex here. You're going to have to watch their tires. If you slide out too wide here, you're going to set up a very poor entry into this really tight corner, which is turn 12. It's a short straight into the final 2 corners, but you can lose a position if you get it wrong, or you could end up in the wall. We'll jump to Mark Darnell. He is currently in between Fuad Al-Rijla and Connor Acatella. Showing some decent pace out of the Mustang, a little bit better than last week. And he's going to be looking to hold off Connor Acatella, who once again, maybe not qualifying exactly where he'd like. It seems like the Aston Martin might have trouble getting those tires up to temp during the qualifying session. It's only 10 minutes, but during the race, he makes up a lot of positions early on. So I'm not sure exactly why that is, but it seems to be somewhat of a trend. But he is going to be looking to make a move on Darnell as soon as possible so he can go hunt down Al-Rijla. His teammate Mike De Almeida is unable to join this race, so he's going to have to put in a strong performance to keep up in the team championship. Darnell takes a lot of curb, and that is not really what you want to do here. You want to stay off those larger 3D curbs. You can take some of the smaller ones, but if you really upset the balance of the car, you're trying to get the power down early, and you can. Ooh, there's a wall strike from Acatella. So, again, this is very similar to the Charlotte Roval, where these kinds of mistakes can add up. You don't want to pick up steering issues. Unlike the Charlotte Roval event, this one is a sprint weekend, so we are not going to have any scheduled pit stops. There's no, hey, I crashed early, but I'm in the pit window, I'll just take my fast repair. Now, if you have to pit in one of these sprint rounds, your race is pretty much done. You'd have to make up way too much time. We'll jump back to Damon Mitchell, who's still fending off Jason Lynn, and Chris McDonald looks to be involved. He wants to follow his teammate through. Lynn goes defensive on the inside, And Chris McDonald says, all right, I'll tuck back in. We'll jump back up to Darnell and Acatella in this fight. Darnell's doing everything he can to keep the Aston Martin behind, and if he keeps it up like that, you know, Acatella just runs the risk of overdriving the car just a bit, maybe making a risky maneuver that could potentially take himself out of the race. That is too much curb, way too much. You're not gonna want to do that lap after lap, and Acatella is smelling blood in the water. He's going to look every which way to see if he can poke a nose in, maybe scare Darnell off a line. But all Darnell has to do is try to keep up with Fuad Al-Rijla ahead. Try to stay in that draft range if he can. It's difficult. Al-Rijla has a lot of pace. But I don't necessarily see drivers going defensive except for into turn 3. It's really where it matters. Everywhere else, you just take the normal racing line, and it's very difficult to get around. Getting a good exit out of this corner, turn 2, is very critical. Acatella is going to be looking to make a move here if he can. Into the braking zone, not quite close enough this time around. But he might make a surprise move into the straight between turn 7 and 8. Once we get through this complex, all he has to do is stay as close as he can and maybe get a good run onto the backstretch. That livery looking a little bit worse for wear. Lots of scratches on the left side already from a couple of wall strikes. And we lost him just a bit. We'll get our track map up here. Apologies for not having that up. To enter the fountain complex. Darnell stays ahead for now, but we'll keep an eye on that. Kurt Smith, unfortunately, with that pit lane start, he's about 15 seconds back, but he'll be hoping for a little bit of chaos up ahead as he makes his way around the track and really set himself up nicely for race 2. But glad to see him back on the track for the 3rd race of the season. And looking to pick up some points for that team. Jason Lynn going slowly. He's in the pits. I'm not sure what happened. He must have had some kind of damage, but that is going to take him out of the running, and Kurt Smith goes by. Yeah, it looks like that's not just a fast repair either. He might be having hardware issues. We'll come back to that. But a disaster of a first race for Jason Lynn. So that moves Mitchell, McDonald, and Kurt Smith up a position. And Kurt Smith's up to 9th. We'll ride on board with Mark Darnell as he looks to defend against Acatella and see how his tires are doing. Takes a lot of curb. You have to be very careful here. If you get on throttle too early, you will wash out into this wall coming out of 14. A little bit of counter steer. Again, you want to protect your car as best you can. The less counter steer you have to do, the happier your tires are going to be at the end of 20 minutes. But he takes it very easy through turns 1 and 2. Looks to get the power down. This is where the BMW can stretch its legs. Heavy braking into turn 3. You can clip that corner. You don't want to take too much. Run all the way out to the exit. Set yourself up nicely for this next infield section. You can see the bumps There's a big dip in the road right there. This track is not smooth. It's a street circuit. These are city streets, kind of. It's an island out right off the coast of Detroit. But heavy braking into turn 8. Again, Darnell taking a lot of that curb. He hasn't quite figured out how to take it yet. You can see Acatella in the rear view camera just sniffing around, see if he can poke his nose in. We've had an infamous incident happen here way back in the day by a fellow named Kipling. But nothing doing yet. As he completes another lap. Big counter steer at the exit. And drivers will start lap 8. It's a brilliant defense so far. This is the closest battle on track at the moment. Up front, Matthew Mayer has just driven away from Raymond 2. The switch to the Porsche is working out very nicely. And Raymond doesn't have an answer at the moment. He's saying almost 7 seconds ahead of Alrigela in third. So we'll stick here with the battle for 4th place, as Ian Bertolucci is in the pits. I apologize, I didn't quite catch what happened there, but he has pit and he is not coming out. So unfortunately for him, not the day that he would have liked, but yeah, that opens up just another position for some of these mid-pack drivers. Not saying Acatella's a mid-pack driver; he's doing well in the championship, but Darnell, McDonald, Jason Lynn, even with 2 laps down, they can make up a lot of points on some of their rivals with a little bit of adversity for some of the top drivers. Acatella's got to be getting frustrated too. He looks to make a move now, and he is side by side entering turn 3. He's got the inside. He's probably got this one locked in place and easily takes the position. That all came down to the exit out of turn 2. Darnell slipping and sliding just a little bit on the exit, and Acatella was able to get side by side and get the preferred inside for turn 3. I imagine Acatella is going to be pulling a gap here shortly. He's currently up 5 positions, so again, doing really well to make up positions, showing that naked aggression. But he's got a long way to go to catch up to Fuad Alrigela. Darnell kind of holding him up for a bit. He's got 3 seconds to make up and only about 6 minutes to do it. So we'll see what he can do, but he'll be pushing that Aston as hard as he can to catch up to the Mustang. For the back, we have Chris McDonald and Damon Mitchell fighting for 6th place, 2 teammates of the Groomed Cock Racing team. So they head into turns 1 and 2. Really want to push the outside, stay to the right in turn 1, and really open up turn 2 to get that good exit. As Mitchell goes defensive and actually lets McDonald through. That might be team orders saying, "Hey, I don't have the car that I want right now. Let's see if we can swap positions and run together to go chase down Darnell." So McDonald inherits 6th place. as they work together to try to hunt down the rest of the pack. And as they make their way through the fountain section, have about 5 minutes left in our race. We're on lap 10. Mayer out front, Raymond to second place, Waddell Ridgela in third. But we're watching the battle for 6th place right now with the groomed cock racing boys. As their Mustang V8s power their way around the beautiful street circuit just outside Detroit, Michigan. This will be good points for the team if they can hold it together like this. As the Ball Crushing Industries, again, is missing Mike Delmeda for today. So although Connor is ahead in P4, having 2 drivers score this well, that's going to get them a handful of points. But team-wise, it's about as good of a day for the Being Chilling team as they could have hoped for, with Mayer in first and Al Rijla in third. And really, Mayer not being challenged at all in this race. Got a good jump right from the start and never looked back. He is using all of the track, getting perilously close to the wall for having such a large lead. You'd think he might want to, take it easy a little bit. But no, he is still pushing, getting those lap times. Wow, he is about half a second faster than Raymond 2 on that last lap with a 136.52. In fact, his best lap of 135.8 is 0.6 ahead of Raymond 2's best lap. So he's been pushing it all race. He's got the fastest lap. He's continuing to lap faster than everyone else. Just top-notch driving. Raymond 2, meanwhile, he's just all alone. Nothing to do in this race. Hold on to P2. Stay out of the walls. Try not to have a repeat of the Charlotte Roval, where maybe had a chance to fight at the end, but picked up some damage, and that was that. But he's got 10 seconds over Waddell Rijla. He's currently in third, having a wonderful race so far. No word if Al Rijla is going to be looking to switch the Porsche as well for the next race. Right now he's happy to run the Mustang. We'll see what happens. A lot of these drivers, it takes them a couple races to really feel out what car they want to use for the second half of the season. Right now, all the points that we're showing you for the Drivers' Championship as the white flag is being waved, all of the points exclude the drop weeks, which the drivers will have. So this is an 8-race schedule. There will be 2 drop weeks for the drivers. So the championship may look different once those drop weeks are applied. However, drivers are really feeling out the first couple races to, see what kind of car they like, what's working well for them, maybe test out mid-season for a swap. You get a free swap if you swap more than once, and it's you relegate to a back of the grid start, which isn't the end of the world in some of these smaller grid races. You just want to avoid any trouble if you can. The team championship, however, is just the points. There are no drop weeks for the team championship, so every point matters in that one. You need to bring your A game as best you can. It looks like McDonald and Mitchell swap positions once again. Not sure if that was an actual overtake or just team orders. Chris saying to his teammate Damon, "Hey, I didn't have it. I'll get you the position back on the last lap." As they make their way through turns 13 and 14, that will be how they end up. But we have Mayer doing some celebratory drifting as he picks up the win for race 1 of the day. Nice. Oh, I was going to say nice drift, but just kisses the wall there at the end. And Raymond 2 finishes second, as we have some victory donuts taking place for our third place finisher, Fuad Al-Rizla. Connor Acatella finishes 4th, and Darnell finishes 5th. All right, that is your race 1. And let's see if we can get the results pulled up on screen. Not quite, because this is the warm-up session. We'll actually move to the grid for our feature race. This is going to be 25 minutes instead of 20. So extra 5 minutes. And because of the top 6 invert, we have Damon Mitchell on pole, with Mark Darnell starting next to him. Connor Acatella and Fuad Al-Rizla start in row 2. And Raymond 2 and Matthew Mayer are going to be starting in row 3. We're just like at our week 1 race. They're going to be looking to make moves as quickly as possible. At Sebring, Raymond 2 got out well ahead of Mayer and through the traffic really quickly, and Mayer got stuck behind some cars, notably Logan McKenzie, and battled them. It was a great race, but didn't work out so well for Mayer, so they're going to be looking to move up as quickly as possible. Chris McDonald and Kurt Smith start row 4. Jason Lynn is starting 9th, and I believe Ian Bertolucci and Ethan Brown will not be making the grid for this race. As the pace truck starts off, Damon Mitchell will have the advantage. For Darnell in P2, he's going to look to defend as best he can. If he can sort of slot in behind Mitchell and get to where the race gets to single file, he might have a chance to hold off some of these faster drivers, but these other drivers are going to be looking to make moves early. 2x2, they exit turn 13 and 14. Onto the straight. The pace truck dips into pit lane, and Damon Mitchell leads them off. Connor Acatella gets a great jump in P3 and actually passes Darnell. Darnell caught sleeping just a little bit. Raymond 2 and Fuad Al-Rizla side by side. Matthew Mayer kind of getting held up by his teammate just a little bit, and that's really close. Mitchell leads him away, Acatella in second, Darnell in third, but here comes Raymond 2. He's got the inside, and Mayer says, "Thank you very much, I'll take that position too." And now we got 3 wide going into the corner, and Darnell says, "That's enough, guys. Come on, it's lap 1. But everyone makes it through safely. Fuad Al-Rizla, the big winner there. Darnell down 4 positions. In just a few corners, he'll look to settle in. David Mitchell up front. He's got Connor Ecktel on his rear bumper. But that was really important for that swap right at the end of the race in race 1, because Chris McDonald, down in 9th place, gave that position up. He could have started on pole. That might have been strategic, saying, I don't have confidence in the car quite yet to be up front with these drivers. Acatello looks to make a move, tucks back in. We have Mitchell, Acatello, 2, and Mayer. And right now, it looks like they're all being held up just a bit. Raymond 2 is looking on Acatella out of 14. And they're side by side over the start-finish line. David Mitchell hits a bump, and there he goes into the wall. Mayer, oh my gosh, how did he squeeze through there? I have no idea. I don't know if he picked up damage or not, but that was tight. And he's going to lose a few positions here. Raymond 2 jumps out front. I think Mayer's okay. There's a whack from a Mustang. But so far, that is disaster averted for Mayer. Unfortunately for Damon Mitchell, that Mustang is not looking so hot. So he'll have to pit for repairs. Raymond 2 and Connor Arcatello get away cleanly. But Mayer drops down all the way to 6th place. Luckily for him, the car looks okay. Oh, he jumps a lot of curb there, makes a pass in a spot where you don't normally see it. He's going to be hunting down, seeing red. Nothing he really could have done there. But unfortunately for him, he's got to repass all of these cars that he worked hard to pass on lap 1. Jason Lynn with a little bit of a wall strike. No harm, no foul. But we'll stay with him. Oh, there's a heavier strike as he pushes his Porsche. Yeah, we're gonna have to keep an eye on how scratched up that livery gets. Darnell gets a okay. Oh man, there's drivers are pushing hard out of turn 2. They know how important it is, and both Mayer and Kurt Smith striking hard. These GT4 machines are pretty durable, much more so than touring car or like a GR86. They're kind of tanky. As Darnell is actually catching up to Al Rijla. And that's only going to help Darnell out as he stays in the draft. See if I can get the lap times here. So Darnell 2/10 faster, and there's a pass again in a spot you don't normally see. Matthew Mayer just took the inside and said, "This is my corner now." And I'm taking the apex. You can do whatever you want, but you're not going to go where I'm going. And Darnell says, "All right." So Mayer making up positions quickly. He's got to do it in unconventional ways if he wants to catch up to Raymond 2. He had a pace advantage in race 1, so he can do it. He's only, let's see, the overall gap right now, 5.1 seconds. And we have 20 minutes to go. I think that's entirely doable to catch up. As long as he can stay out of the walls, avoid some of those harder hits that he's been making, he's got a chance to catch up. For the back, we have Jason Lynn and Kurt Smith fighting for P6. Some good points available. And both those drivers are going to be looking to maximize. But Chris Smith actually pulling a little bit ahead of Lynn over the last couple of laps. So there may have been an overtake there. I apologize if I missed it. But up front, we have for P3 two teammates fighting. We'll see how the Being Chilling team orders rules apply. Mayer goes to the inside. Once again, I lost my track map. Mayer gets the job done fairly easily into turns 1 and 2. So for Mayer, he's just got Connor Acatella to hunt down. Once he gets past, it's game on. Raymond 2 better watch out. Mayer putting in the fastest lap of the race with a 1:36.1. And that's with an overtake. For reference, Raymond 2's last lap was a 1:36.3. So 0.2 slower. But the gap has come down to about 4.8 seconds. Plenty of time left. We'll ride along with Mayer as he makes his way around and hunts down Acatella. Right, currently a 1.7 second gap. There's another wall strike. But keeps it out of the wall for the exit of turn 14. And heads across the start-finish line. Sets up turn 1 and 2. He keeps it narrow, close to the apex in turn 2. I know some other drivers like to take turn 2 a little bit deeper to get on the power earlier. Whatever Mayer's doing is working though, so that might be the preferred line for this race. And that gap has come down from 1.7 seconds down to just under a second. Acatella's going to have his hands full if he wants to defend from this hard-charging Mayer. A 135.8. He is just on fire. As they make their way through the fountain section, that Porsche just looks like it has more grip. And that's where all the time's made up. Aston Martin really struggling through that section. That was about 0.4 in just half a lap. And Acatella way off the apex at 14 is going to give Mayer a good opportunity to set up a good pass into turn 3. Gets a good exit. Acatella goes defensive. So they tuck it back in line. Mayer looks to the inside and tucks back in. Just not quite close enough that time around, but he's going to be looking to make maybe another one of those unconventional passes somewhere along the lines. He looks, he's really filling the mirrors of that Aston Martin. Giving him something to think about on every apex. Is he going to make the move here? Can he make the move here? He's got to do it without, you know, ending in tears for everyone involved. But again, he's going to lose a little bit of time here to Raymond 2 through this section if he has to follow the Aston Martin. This is where that Porsche is really hooked up. The interval for 2 and Mayer is still about 4.2 seconds. So Mayer not making up any time until he gets around Acatella. Oh, maybe an inch away from the wall on that occasion. There's something about a street circuit. You don't have to worry about track limits so much. Most of these drivers are going to finish the race with a 0x. But Acatella goes defensive on the inside, and Mayer sweeps along the outside. Acatella says that's enough. There's not much I can do now. And Mayer gets through. I'll say conventionally that time around. But he does strike the wall again. But now he's free to go after Raymond 2. The gap's climbed a bit, about 4.5 seconds. But he has 13 minutes to make up that time. Further back in the field, drivers are a bit spread out at the moment. Right now, the closest battle outside of the top 3 is Mark Darnell and Jason Lynn. Darnell P5, Jason Lynn hunting him down. And a little bit less than a second. Actually, Jason Lynn making up 3/10 there in a very short amount of time. As you'll see, these cars, some of them are set up more for different parts of the track. And Jason Lynn making up another 10th. He is charging on Darnell. So we'll stick here. We'll keep an eye on the interval at the top of your screen there. Mayer just inside 4 seconds now. But Kurt Smith looks like he might have had a problem as well. He drops down to 9th place. And is 1 lap down, just behind Damon Mitchell. That will move Chris McDonald up into 7th place. He's currently 11 seconds back of this battle. Jason Lynn gets all of the track and then some. But he looks to have that Mercedes just a little bit more composed. Darnell, a little bit power on oversteer, and it has to correct. But he's going to have to play defense again for the next 11 minutes to try to keep Jason Lynn at bay. This is where Lynn really catches up. But then Darnell starts to pull a gap between corners 1 and 4. BMW is quicker in a straight line. And if he can keep it out of the walls, this will be a good battle. As they make their way around for lap 10. Jason Lynn's only 3/10 behind at this juncture. I'd like to ride on board with him, but he keeps disappearing, and Darnell weaving, breaking up the draft. I don't think that's really going to make much of a difference. In fact, it might just wear out his tires just a little bit more. Jason Lynn says, yeah, keep doing that. As they exit turn 7 and head on to the backstretch. Jason Lynn's gonna stay in the draft, maybe peek on the outside, see if he can cut that corner a little bit. Darnell takes the normal racing line. He stays off the curb. You saw in race 1, Darnell was taking that curb a lot. Looks like he's learned his lesson and is staying off it for now. But Lynn not quite close enough to make a move at this time. Wow, a lot of oversteer exiting turn 14 for Darnell. But he holds it together. Oh, I'm sorry, that was exiting 12, the fountain section. And another big slide. You can tell he's not focusing on the second key to our race, which is not to overdrive the car. He's definitely overdriving it at this time. Losing Alrigila in 4th place, 2.4 second gap now. And his tires are not going to last to the end of the race if he drives in that manner. Matthew Mayer down inside 3 seconds. 2.7 actually, so it makes up even 2.6. He is on the charge. And we are going to have a fight in this race. Last time around, he was 9/10 faster than Raymond 2. We're going to see a fight for the lead here very shortly. Back to this battle, Jason Lynn and Mark Darnell. Jason Lynn falling behind just a little bit. I think both of them saw an opportunity. Jason Lynn pushing hard and Darnell really working defensive. Oh, again, sliding those tires. If he keeps that up, it's a 25-minute race. It's not that long, but he will overheat those tires. Mayer just about 2 seconds behind Raymond 2 at this time. Once he gets a little bit closer, we'll jump back up front. And again, Darnell just trying to break up that draft. Driving in his mirrors just a little bit. Jason Lynn sticking with him. But the BMW is quick in a straight line. So if Darnell can get a good exit out of turn 3 every lap for the remaining 6.5 minutes, he'll have a decent chance at holding him off. We'll jump back ahead to Raymond 2 as we see how close they are now. Kurt Smith is just ahead of him, but he's a lap down. There's a bit of a wall tap for Raymond 2, but the car looks okay. He's got 6 minutes to defend. The gap 1.3 seconds. Last time around, Matthew Mayer, 0.8 quicker. There's no fuel saving in a sprint race like this. The drivers have plenty of fuel. This is all about tire management, pace management, how hard you want to push those tires, how comfortable you feel going all the way from track edge to track edge. And if you can get a couple of extra inches of track use than your competitor, you can push that apex speed just a little bit higher. You're going to make up tons of time here. There's a broken sideways groomed cock racing Mustang as Damon Mitchell having the best day, the best race here. Luckily for our leaders, they were able to avoid the incident, and Mitchell was able to tow. So a bit of attrition for this race. But but our top 7 still on the lead lap. Now Kurt Smith is a lap down. He is teammates with Raymond too, but this is a gentleman's league. I don't anticipate that these drivers are going to play any games with lap traffic. I imagine once they catch up, Kurt Smith's going to let this battle play out. Currently, it's just a half a second lead for Raymond 2. I'm sure he would appreciate as much draft as he can get, and maybe a strategic pass. But Kurt Smith moves over and lets both of them by. Very gentlemanly. As they turn into the fountain section. The Mustang kicking his rear end out just a little bit. This is where the Porsche really shines, and he is on the bumper, taking it close to the apex. Raymond 2 is far out there, and that's going to give Mayer a good exit. I don't think there's going to be room here, but he's going to look anyways. It's not quite long enough of a straight to really gain an advantage, enough to pass. It's not a heavy braking zone either. You just need to touch the brakes, downshift a couple, and make sure you get a good exit into turn 1. We'll ride on board with Kurt Smith, actually, as he watches this race unfold in front of him. Both drivers going defensive. What? And Mayer strikes the outside as he whips back to the racing line. Raymond 2 has the inside for turn 4. Mayer's going to have to back off, but he tries the over-under. Not quite room there. Again, 2 goes defensive. There's a big dip there. 2 maintains the position. He's going to have a good exit here as they head onto the backstretch. We have a minute and a half left. Mayer looks to the outside. 2 going defensive again. Not quite room. There's a wall strike. I think Raymond went just a little bit wide. And Kurt Smith is catching up as these 2 battle. That's how much time is lost when you go side by side through these corners and go defensive. Matthew Mayer getting on those curbs helps him rotate the car. And that is a big car to get around. That Mustang is huge compared to the little Porsche. 2 goes defensive on the inside, and then he parks it on the apex to get a good exit out of turn 2. And Raymond 2 says, you will not have the inside here. I'm going to have that the rest of the race. Thank you very much. But Mayer says, there's a little bit of room here on the outside. I did this to Logan McKenzie in race 1. Just parked the car there. There was room. Couldn't do anything with it, but just, lets him know I'm there. There's a big wall strike. But this time, Mayer had the inside, just couldn't get the car rotated enough, had to back out, so Raymond gets back in front. That was a really big opportunity for Mayer. If he could have gotten the power down, he would have had an advantage going into this back straight. 2 goes defensive yet again. Takes that curb, Mayer avoids it. Into the fountain section, this is where the Porsche shines, and he has loads of grip. The Mustang's been drifting wide through this section, and Mayer gets a good exit. Once again, there's just no room to make a move here. It's not long of a straight, and it's, a light braking zone, as we said before. But as they make their way through the final lap, Raymond 2 holds off Matthew Mayer and wins race 2. The interval 0.2 of a second. That was an incredible battle between these two championship rivals. Connor Acatella finishes 3rd. Not much to say about that race. Just strong performance overall. Waddle Ridgela picks up 4th place. Jason Lynn got around Mark Darnell for 5th place. And Chris McDonald is making his way around the track. 7th place. Kurt Smith finishes 1 lap down in 8th. And Damon Mitchell completes the race in the pits in P9. We have some victory donut. I don't really know where he's going. Yeah, some kind of celebration through the end of. Yeah, I don't know. Just parking it. Sure, why not? Congratulations to Raymond 2 on that well thought out battle. And we'll go ahead and check out our results. And there we go. And they're not there. So we'll go ahead and bring up our points. Raymond 2 gets a little bit of a lead over Matthew Mayer, or maintains that lead. I think both of them scored the same amount of points for this race weekend. So right now, Raymond 2, 164 points over Matthew Mayer with 155. Connor Acatella is still in 3rd place with 108. So again, really making up those positions during the race. If he can get the qualifying in a better spot, he'll be even in better shape. Waddle Ridgela moves up 3 places with 99 points into 4th. Chris McDonald drops 1 place down to 5th. And his teammate Damon Mitchell also drops 1 place down to 6th. Mark Darnell climbs 3 positions in the Horny Toad Racing Machine with 68 points in 7th. Matt Best, of course, did not race in today's race. He drops down to 8th. Mike DeAlmeida missed today's race. He drops to 9th position. And Jason Lynn rounds out your top 10. Logan McKenzie, Lieutenant Dan, Slugnificent did not participate in today's race, but Kurt Smith did, and he went from 3 points to 22 points. So big points haul for him, and those will be valuable points for the team championship as well. And then rounding out our team driver championship, Matthew Berger, Austin Dunbar, Ethan Brown, and Jeremy Barber round out your top 18. Looking at our team championship post-race, we have Bing Chilling pulling out a massive lead over the B4D Weenie Hut Racing team. Although the B4D Weenie Hut moves up 2 spots. They were 4th place last week. Now they're up to 2nd. And again, there's no drop weeks for the team championship, so they're in a strong position for the middle of Season 3. Groomcock Racing drops 1 position to 3rd with 173 points. And Ball Crushing Industries, again, Connor Acatella finishing 3rd, which is great, but his teammate missed, so their team drops down to 4th place. Roadkill Racing did not earn any points this round, so Horny Toad Racing and Big Honkers are still fighting for that 6th and 7th place positions, and Beaver Busters currently in 8th place. As the post-race celebrations continue, I just want to say thank you for joining us for Race 3 at Belle Isle. Next week, the Late Apex Racing Club heads to Lime Rock Park for an endurance race. Rain is in the forecast, so it should be an exciting event. We hope to see you there.